Back-to-back videos. You gotta love this damn stuff, I swear. Yeah, it's me again. When I have a little bit more thoughts to add to the ranting and raving that I did previously, I'm not apologizing for any of it. I'm not apologizing for all the stuff I've said and posted online as it is. There's no way I'm going to be taking that stuff back. No, I'm not. What I am going to be saying at this point over here is this is life right now as it is. We've got COVID. We have to deal with what we've got. We have to change our behaviors. We got to change our thinking, our way of life. And this is not easy for us. We're not willing to make this kind of sacrifice. We're demonstrating this on a constant basis. And in trying to explain this, I just don't know what else to do except take this Louisville Slugger to everybody who disagrees with me. Then we have a nice little chat about baseball and fastballs. I know, that's a hit and threaten and violence at this point over here that should not have been done in the first place. And use this thing as a metaphor, not as an actual physical situation here. Because right now, I'm running into people who just don't get it, who just don't understand it, don't want to understand it. And the thing of it is, our way of life that we've been so used to, we're willing to basically kill the other person to continue our way of life. A lot of writers have been doing about apocalyptic stories for decades, trying to tell people about how the life of man is going to change one way or another. Everything that we take for granted, everything that we've done, thrown away, and then we're living in a dystopia. We're living in a wasteland. Equated to the movies that we have these days, and you'll probably find your own interpretation for it. And it's hard to deal with this. A guy named Hamilton wrote a story about City at World's End. He wrote this book right after we dropped the atomic bomb back in the 50s. We dropped the atomic bomb in World War II. We continued with hydrogen bombs and nuclear weapons, testing like crazy. Not to mention China and Soviet Union has started doing that during that time. So the nuclear age was with us. And it was scary as hell for the older generation, not to mention the newer generation, who had to grow up under that threat. The older generation also remembered about the bacterial, biological warfare we had with a damn flu bug that was killing people left and right, and our governments never told us anything about it. And during that time, the government kept everything a secret. They still do. Some projects and some things they have to. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. National security. Not to mention keeping people from freaking out and panicking left and right. And the problem is they can't keep doing that. We want accountability. We want transparency. Fine. But some things have to be buried. Because if they're going to protect us one way or another, they keep thinking about national security at this point over here. Some things I'd rather not know what the government does. I simply have to accept and just move on with my life. But the one thing I do want is my government trying to figure out how to stop this son of a bitch, this COVID-19. So at least I still have a semblance of life, liberty, and the pursuit of some happiness in my life. Back to the book of City at World's End. A town called Middleton, in the middle of the United States. It's a nuclear facility, tactical center of some kind. Scientists figuring things out under the disguise of a different think tank or whatever it is that they do. Something at this town of 1,000 or actually 10,000 people, size of Roseman, California, had to live and cope with the nuclear bomb and the threat of it. We didn't realize this particular government think tank was a strategic spot until a super bomb exploded right above them. And what the writer had did was trying to explain is that the forces of nuclear energies created a time shift, and it projected the city into millions of years into the future of a dying Earth. And they had to struggle for survival. In that struggle is the realization that their whole world is gone. Completely. They are on their own, and they have to find ways to survive. The individual stories in the book, how characters had to figure things out, how they were left alive. Some people called it fate, some people considered it a miracle, other people kept trying to blame everybody else for the damn thing. But there was fear and chaos and confusion reigning at that point over here, and the scientists had to figure out a way how to lead these people forward. And one politician, the mayor of town, is still scared shitless, but he had to listen to the scientists because he had no other option, because he didn't know how to figure things out for himself. He had his people around with him. Sorry, drink. An exploration found an ancient city. Futuristic for them, but still ancient on Earth. And this was a doorway into the galaxy of sorts. And they figured to place out, get a transmission going, and then the galaxy responds to them. And then they had to figure out how to deal and cope with that. Because if they could deal with the cope that the city on Earth was made by humans, or maybe made by humans, we don't know. Humanoid and different creatures trying to keep this planet alive. Till it got to the point where life was not sustainable, even under a huge glass dome. And there was no weather on the planet. Not at all. Except maybe wind. That's about it. No rain. No way for the Earth to generate the forces we take for granted now. And has been since the dawn of the Earth, when it was going through its motions, it's going through its formations, and starts to create its own weather systems. And in the end, the citizens of Middleton had to contend with a future on a planet. Some of the youth decided to stay along in the new city, and the old people went to the old town. There was a process found along the way to recreate life inside the Earth once more, so it could be somewhat habitable. The old people can just retire to their old ways, and the new people are ready to accept the galaxy as it is. How does this relate to our situation, yes? Fascinating book, John. But what does this have to do with the COVID-19? So you're not getting it. You're not getting it. Put yourself in a metaphorical or an allegorical situation at this point over here. It's kind of hard for people to do that, but use it as an example anyway. Middleton is us. Our way of thinking, our way of life, our constant way of doing things. And then by forces unseen and unknowable, released on us. You can't find a culprit because there's no culprit to find. In our current situation right now, We're trying to find who to blame. But here's the thing, you can't find the blame because it just happened. And you have to cope with the damn shit. You have to find a way to deal with it. We're trying to find ways to get antibodies lasting long enough. We have to find ways to outlast this damn bug that we've got going. If we were living in one city, and if we actually had a nuclear warhead above us and blasted us into the future, we too would have had to fight for survival and still deal with the emotions we're dealing with right now, even as we speak. It's hard as hell to think about this kind of situations, but I think about these things all the time. I'm a writer. I write stuff up. Just haven't been published, but I'm working on it. And I know a lot of writers throughout the decades have been thinking about stuff like this. Man's stupidity puts him into an apocalyptic future. Or nature puts people in an apocalyptic future. Or maybe the galaxy somehow put man into an apocalyptic future. Whatever it is, it put man into an apocalyptic situation where he's having a hard time trying to deal and cope. And now you're probably thinking, we're in an apocalypse? We're going to die? No. We're going to fight for survival right now with another bug right now. Well, I'm still going to be using the apocalypse anyway, because people keep thinking we're in the apocalypse right now anyway. There's going to be a second coming! Christ is coming! Give me a break. Give me a break. He would have done so already. He would have already had the fanfare already. Maybe we're being softened up. I don't know, but I don't think so. For me, it's just another day of survival at this point over here. If he's coming, he's coming. If he's not, then I'm not going to stress over the damn thing. I'm not. What I am stressing about is our own survival at this point of what we have to do now. We don't like what the governors and we don't like what the mayors are telling us right now on how to survive. Some of them are saying, okay, well, we had a chance to survive. We got a chance to go back into normal. If we have to do maybe a few things here, because we still want our normalcy. We still want to feel normal. This bug is making us feel oogie. We can't deal with oogie. We have to feel normal. I hate to tell you, boys and girls, but grow the hell up. Get out of the damn sandbox mentality. Get out of your damn sandbox mentality. You want your life still stuck in a damn sandbox where you're still playing with sandcastles left and right. And dealing with bullies still trying to knock the damn sand out of you. And not to mention trying to take over the damn sandbox. You're dealing with the head game politics at this point over here. This bug is out here to kill you. Plain and simple. A virus's job is to replicate, multiply, grow itself. It is programmed in its own genetics. It is programmed to survive. It does not care about anything that we have. It cares about its own survival. We are in a war. We have to do whatever is necessary to protect ourselves. Carrying a gun doesn't work. Infecting a person with a damn lead in the body doesn't solve a damn shit. You're just causing more bed space, more drainage of resources. I'm trying to put it to you plain and simple. But if you folks can't understand this thing, then I'll be putting your names on a headstone. If I was going to be working in a mortuary or in a graveyard. Or better yet, toe tag your butt. Or whatever it is. Throw you in a damn oven. And roast your ass to your ashes. And the fun part is, where the hell to put your damn remains at? Meanwhile, the bug is laughing its ass off as it's multiplying left and right. And you're dead. It's plain and simple. This is the COVID. This is how things work. We get MRSA a lot. We get noroviruses that cause us a little bit of discomfort left and right. We're throwing up left and right, but we live. Norovirus hasn't killed us yet. Influenza we deal with because we already know how to deal with influenza. We have knowledge. We have medications for that. We have immunizations for that. We go in for yearly boosters to make sure that our immune systems are able to deal with this damn bug. This COVID is a new bastard. It's a new bastard. And it don't care about you. You gotta care about you. You gotta care about others. You want them to live? You want them to survive? Then you gotta do what's necessary to protect your ass and your loved ones at this point over here. Otherwise, say goodbye to everybody. If they're immune compromised, if they're at a certain age, if this bug likes them too damn much, wants to be real friends with the immune system here, wants to camp out here for a hell of a long while until your body dies, and then decides this wants to move on to the next place. The next victim, and the next victim, and the next victim. Am I making any sense to people at this point? Am I making any sense? Am I making any clarity for you folks? This bug does not give a shit about you. We're in a war, boys and girls. Plain and simple. We're in a war of survival. We have to use every damn resource we've got right now. And one of the resources we have is, yeah, I know, washing the damn hands, social distancing, wear the fucking mask. And the other major thing. Don't gather in large groups. Don't gather in large groups. Don't give this bastard more opportunity to screw with people left and right. Do you not understand? Then start making out your last will and testament. And don't blame me for your death. End of lecture.